on underwear. Just kidding. Not really.
I swear to God, I hope that I hit record quick enough to capture that, because that that sentiment right there sums up this entire thing. I hope I will wash and I'll put on underwear. That's perfect. So, hi Linda. We're recording,
Hi. Hi, Sean.
and
Great.
there's Phil the Force and Flow ho ho.
May the force be with you.
It's my Yoda Santa.
So, Sean, why are we doing this? Let's talk about who we are first. Should we do that?
We're definitely going to do that, but I think we should tell the folks what the podcast is going to be called. Have we figured that out yet?
Yeah.
Are we talking spatial? Are we spatial talk? Are we spatial XR?
Talking,
Are we engage XR?
they're all taken. They're all taken. So
Everything's
I think
taken?
we're gonna, honest to God, I mean, maybe by two people on a Twitter account that hasn't been used in a year, but yeah.
But it's taken.
The other one that isn't is Talking Spatial, and I kind of like it anyway. So,
All right, so we're talking
I don't know. My
spatial.
vote goes there. It's a democracy here. So if you know.
Hey, if they're all taken and we can lock in Talking Spatial, then guess what we're doing?
I cyber squatted on a Facebook page already, so.
Okay. Well, I guess we're talking spatial.
We are talking spatial.
That's Linda,
I like
and I'm
that.
Sean, and we're talking spatial. And now what we're going to do is talk about who the hell we are and why we're doing this. And basically, this is nothing more than an introductory recording to let folks know who we are, why we're here, why we wanted to put this together, and maybe give a little bit of insight into why we think we're worth listening to when it comes to this technology. Mainly, I mean, honestly, all podcasts are basically started because at least one person, if not a group of people, just enjoys talking about whatever subject it is they're talking about. And Linda and I we're techies. We're geeky. We're geeky. You don't want us working on your computer, but we love to use them.
I'm getting pretty good at reinstalling Windows OSs lately.
Yeah, and I'm sorry you're having to do that. But Linda, introduce yourself and let the world know who you are and what's up. And my wife just got home from the grocery store, so that's my dogs in the background. I'm going to let you talk and mute my mic.
Good idea. I'm Linda. I love technology. I don't love it from a how to make it work perspective, regardless of what I just said about reinstalling my Windows OS, which I don't love, so that makes sense. I love it because I love that we as humans are like the human animals. We pick it up, we play with it, we turn it around, we say, what does this do? And it changes the way we act, and it changes the way we think, and it changes the way we interact. And it's that part of technology as tools that fascinates me. I've been working for a long time, the technical term, on helping companies in spaces where emerging technology was really changing the market. And they would hire me either in-house or as a consultant to go, what do we do next? And I love that. What do we do next? So it's been everything from digital printing. Yes, I'm dating myself. To, VR and AR lately and immersive tech. And I've been in love with immersive tech and VR, and it wasn't called that back when I fell in love with it for 3 decades now, and waiting for it to reach commercialization levels. And it finally has started going there. So I love what it represents. I love what it can do for us. I love what it's going to do for us. I love how we're going to use it. I love how it's going to change things. And I'm also an artist. So for me, it's also the creative part of, the alternative universes you can create, and all the creativity comes along with it. That was a rather long-winded intro, Sean. But
not at all. I mean, it got the point across. That
is what I love it. It's, I'm an artist who's technical, and the business part of me loves what it can do, and the artist part of me loves all the creativity that can be explored with it.
And that's not such an odd combo of skill sets basically anymore, because there's so many artists who jump into We'll call it XR because that's the all
Yeah.
encompassing, the AR and VR realms. And VR, you're seeing a lot more artists involved in, I think, right now than you are in augmented reality. But
I mean,
I,
there's some pretty cool artists in AR.
I was
I know
going to
there's
say,
a
I
guy.
think that's changing. I
There's
think
a
it's,
guy named Mark Amatic who is just brilliant, and I think he's based out of New Zealand or Australia. I forget which one. Sorry, Mark Amatic. But he just makes it so amazingly fun, and it's AR. He enhances 2D things with these there's things that pop out and gears that whirl and things that move, and it's just so much fun. But there's so many artists doing AR, and the limitations, of course, they're usually triggered by a space. So you have to go to the space to trigger it, or have that painting on your wall that gets triggered. But I think both fields are rich. I mean, for me personally, I think AR is where a lot of the commercial money goes because it has very commercial applications, as does VR, but they're less easy to attain. So
AR
advertising and marketing is loving AR.
AR is more you're walking down the street with a pair of glasses on that you can actually see out of and
Right.
interact with the world around you while you're interacting with whatever content is being thrown in front of your eyes. And I'm going to check
Right.
out Markomatic. I haven't heard of him.
I love him. I love his stuff.
Yeah,
He's
I'm
just
definitely going
so
to check it
fun.
out. I just pulled
He's
up his
not the only
page,
one.
and
Yeah.
if we do decide that this recording is worthy of being released, we'll definitely tag marcomatic.com is where I found him, and it's marcomatic.com.
I've
Just in case
connected
we
him
do.
on LinkedIn. So I mean, we can always reach out and say,
Cool.
hey,
Yeah.
dude,
Yeah.
love your stuff.
We're already booking guests. That's how
I
cool
know.
we are. We're already booking cool people. Or we're already talking about booking cool people. I actually talked to a friend of mine last night who is working in the VR space now and was a mucky muck in the AMD. He worked in the military side of AMD's graphics arm forever and ever, and now he's doing some really cool things with VR tech. So David, we already got David as a guest, and we probably have San from Multiverse, and we have the guys from Cavernous, and we can bring in some.
There's so many awesome
start
people
with
in
the
this
big
field.
guns, man. That's what. So
How about
literally,
you?
Hi, I'm Sean, and I wave to a camera that you'll probably never see. I have been working in the simulation space for a long, long time, for the better part of 2 decades professionally. And before that, I was part of a couple different groups that started ripping apart software and making it behave in ways that we wanted it to behave, basically making it mimic the cars that we were racing in the real world. And this is back in the early 90s that we started doing this. And then I got involved professionally from the software side in the motorsport simulation and engineering world. And for some reason, decided to teach myself how to do physics modeling because I'm silly.
No, it's cool.
I don't have a
It's
degree,
neat.
but
degrees. It's fun. It's
yeah,
amazing stuff.
yeah. I mean, literally, it started off as a group of us were treating the 3D worlds on the 2D screen basically as a model set, like a glue together Revel model kit. But we had a group that was really good at 3ds Max, and they were doing the modeling, and we had another group that was really good from the art perspective, and they were doing the texturing, and we had a sound developer who he would literally go out and mic up race cars all over the place, and we would record all of the sounds that we needed for the models that we were making back then. And then me and a couple other folks were doing physics modeling, and all of a sudden it was like we made all these, they're called mods, and anyone listening to this knows that if that's what they're called. I don't know why I'm saying that, but we'd made all these mods, and then finally we just kind of woke up one morning and went, you know what, we're pretty damn good at this. let's see if we can find some place to actually turn this into a profession. And we did that, and we did it. We had some limited success. I'm not going to say we ever had any blockbusters or anything, but we worked on some game titles for some international motorsport series, and a couple of those got released in limited releases. And then we made engineering tools and driver development tools and experiential event tools for a bunch of different companies over the years. And now I'm sitting here building chassis and building hardware and involved in the simulation
stuff.
Do what?
your lemon stuff too. You have
Yeah,
you're great at building a community of people who are really excited about something.
it's really weird. Yeah, I love the tech side of motorsport. I love the tech side of just about everything. I'm totally into gaming. I love what VR is bringing to the table when it comes to simulation and gaming. And that's kind of why Nemesis Lab was started. That's why we fired that up. Is I saw basically a hole. There are several niches that are either not served at all or underserved by emerging XR tech, by AR and VR, and being able to create the hardware that leverages VR and AR is something that really appeals to me, that leverages it in ways that it hasn't been leveraged before, and allowing people to immerse themselves deeper into that technology, I think is just something that's really, really cool. And over the years, I've been involved in a bunch of different medical research projects that were based off of the software that we created, and just seeing the potential uses for AR, VR in the rehab and therapy fields, as well as the gaming and everything. It's just shocking what can be done
I
with
think
this
that
tech.
stuff's amazing. That's probably, I mean, I love the art part, but the medical applications are really spectacular.
It's crazy.
PTSD
There you go.
treatment, the Alzheimer's. The Alzheimer's really is a personal one because my grandmother had Alzheimer's, so I was with her for 12 years,
Yeah.
basically, while she descended. Like the fact that it can help Alzheimer's patients so much is something that I just find incredible. So fear reduction, the phobia training. I mean, there's the list goes on and on.
Phobia
It's an
training.
amazing tool.
I've even
Amazing tool.
experienced it on a very small level in palliative care situations where it's literally it's end of life.
I've heard about that.
And it's well, I mean, you literally have these people who they're transitioning from however long they've been on the planet to, they know that they're leaving us, and being able to put them into an environment that is outside of wherever they are stuck, where a lot of these folks are stuck in bed, they can't get up, but you can put them in VR and suddenly they're in the Alps, or they're standing on the moon or Saturn's rings, or just where does your imagination want to take it? And being able to let people experience that level of freedom who truly are kind of trapped where they are is transformative. It's incredible.
But it's also, I think for me, it's not just also the visuals. It's I said this on the podcast I did with the We Get Real AF people. But for me, they said, what do you think the ultimate benefit is? I'm like, the end of loneliness, Like people are separated, especially now, but just in general, I think it's an absolute travesty that people who are in their older years are lonely. There's a pandemic of loneliness. And you can meet people from all over the place. You can hang out with your family. Yes, they're avatars, but it feels so real when you're standing next to an avatar and that other person's voice is coming out of it, and it really feels like you're standing next to them.
Yeah.
So it's a tool to reduce loneliness.
I know we talked about like what did we want to talk about in episode 0, because that's basically what this is, and it was more we were talking about the immersiveness of VR and the presence of VR, and what you just said is totally true. Like I find myself, especially now that I've got the Quest 2, I just got a Quest 2, and I've never been untethered before.
Right.
You're there.
I know.
I mean, you're literally there. It's not like you're not there when you're sitting in a chassis with VR on your head and you run for a 3-hour stint at Le Mans in the dark, in the rain, and that's very real. But the Quest 2, when you can literally stand up and walk around and interact in some place like Rec Room or VR Chat, or insert your social VR experience here, it's shocking. It's absolutely, you lose yourself in it.
Yeah, I agree. I think humans are very flexible when it comes to that, right? We easily adapt to situations. And even back when I was doing Second Life, like, I don't know, 10, 12 years ago, maybe longer.
Yeah.
However geeky that was, because you only had a 2D screen. It wasn't, immersive. but it was a 3D environment. And at the time, I was dating somebody who was in San Francisco, and I was in New York. So we used to have our, interim dates, just, in between the flying, in Second Life. And you'd be surprised how emotionally attached you can become to this person, even though it's an avatar, because it represents that person. It was a truly amazing experience. And try to explain it to somebody who's never done VR, and they look at you like you're just nuts. But then you don't have to explain it. You just put the headset on them, and then pretty quickly people are like, I totally get the embodiment thing. This feels real,
It's so much
as the avatars improve,
now.
and as they improve, they're going to look even more and more like us.
Yeah.
Well,
as avatars improve, and as you engage more of a full body VR presence with motion and facial expression and mouth movement when you're talking, and that new, I don't know if you've seen it, you probably have seen it, the DECA headset. I can't remember the name of the company off the top of my head that announced this thing, but it's supposedly a $500 headset that has inside out tracking, and it also has cameras positioned where it can see your facial expressions inside the headset, and it can read your mouth positioning on the outside of the headset. And it's got a little thing that you put on your hips, so you can literally, like, if you're moving, it's tracking more of your body than just your head and your hands. And like watching the videos of this thing, it's the DECA headset. It was a weird name, the company that's making it, but the demo,
Tesla.
The demo that they showed, literally the mouth was 1-to-1 almost with how the person was talking, and the facial expressions were incredible. Like it would literally be like you watching me talking right now over this video camera.
Right. Well, it's like the what they're doing in the movies with the tracking. I mean, it brings up all sorts of privacy. We can talk about privacy on another episode, but the fact that there's so much, biometric data being gathered through these headsets.
Yeah.
And by necessity, I understand why they are, or at least they have to be to make a lot of the programs work properly. On the other hand, it's an awful lot of biometric data you're giving up. Your heartbeat, I mean, the eye tracking, the facial expressions, the way you walk, your gait eventually, because gait tracking is actually more accurate than facial scanning. So facial scanning, the newest and next generation of tracking is not going to be facial tracking. It's actually gait tracking, because apparently you cannot change your gait.
So this is like for street cameras, like for sidewalk cams and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So they'll literally track you down
the way you walk.
By the way you walk. That's great. I need
and
that.
I personally, I was like, well, what if I wear heels? What if I don't wear heels? But apparently that doesn't make a difference. And you can camouflage your face, and you can throw off the cameras, but you can't really change the way you walk, apparently.
Okay.
So, I mean, I have the vision of the Ministry of Silly Walks in my head as I say that, but
everybody's
that
John
is actually
Cleese.
more accurate. Yeah,
oh
I know.
My
right?
God. I want to see that, though. I want to see an entire street in London, in the Soho district, basically disguising their gait as John Cleese. Yeah. That would be a wonderful video to watch.
So, I mean, the thing is that the facial stuff is, a huge part of tracking. So
that is a whole other episode. That is a whole other episode. I think, honestly, we're about a half hour in, which is crazy because, I mean, I know, it's nuts, right? It goes when you're actually talking about something you give a shit about, time tends to fly.
That's true.
We could wrap it here and save these topics for another, because this was just supposed to be an intro.
Let's do that. Let's do that.
We're going to wrap it here. Go ahead. I don't want to step on.
I was just going to say it's been fun. And we have a lot to cover. We have a lot of things we find interesting. And I like that we have slightly different perspectives, only because we are coming at it from such different places.
Yeah.
But we share the passion. I love your practical experience with all the stuff you talked about before, and the building things, which I haven't done. I think I come at it from a more of a business strategy and business building kind of position. But also as an artist who just loves it. So, and you love it too as an artist from your perspective. So I think it's great that we come at it from different places, but we meet in the middle.
Yeah, different angles to a certain extent, but I mean,
Yeah,
I've been involved in the professional side of simulation and gaming, and now I'm,
I know.
from the software side, and
You've
now
been
I'm hitting
super
it from the
successful.
hardware side. So
Yeah.
we both have the business that, we both have the business.
Oh yeah, I'm not saying you
Wanna,
don't. I'm just
yeah,
saying you have amazing practical experience too, from a different way that I do, which I love.
yeah, it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun. So if you liked what you heard here, there shall be more. And luckily, we've been doing this long enough to where Linda and I know some really cool people. And we can drag them in here and basically force them to spend a half hour talking about the cool stuff that they're doing.
Most
So,
people like to talk, so it'll be fun.
yeah, yeah. Most people like to talk about things that they're passionate about. And I don't
Yep.
really know, I know no one in this industry literally that is in it for, I mean,
The
yes,
job.
people are in it because they love to make money, and there's money to be made in all things XR right now. But most of the folks that have been at this for several years are just blown away by the tech, and we can't wait to talk about that.
You're right.
Folks that have
There's
been,
nobody doing this as a day job. I've
not
not met
really,
anybody who's like, oh, I do it, I make a living. Like, you hear that in other industries a lot, but this one, there's nobody just going, well, I work my 9 to 5, I go home and I do what I really care about.
right?
Everybody's really passionate about it.
Yeah, yeah. It's this isn't a factory job. This isn't
No,
a this isn't a. I took this job because I'm making $50 an hour putting a car together.
right.
I took this job because it's mind blowing and I enjoy it, kind of thing. And the money's there if you can find it, and it's out there and it's growing. But yeah, most people are just like, this is just too cool not to be a part of. So
Yeah.
looking forward to talking about that more. I'm going to press stop on record,
All right.
and that's
Thanks for this,
Linda
Sean.
over there, and I'm Sean right here. But you'll never see this video, so it doesn't matter. And we are going to come back next week, and we'll be talking spatial, because that's what we're going to call this thing.
All right. Thanks for this, Sean. This was a lot of fun.